My brothers and sisters in Christ, in today's gospel, we hear the beginning of what are three parables that Jesus offers in Luke 15. And that is a sequence on the value that God puts in finding and reconciling the lost. The third of these images is the most famous, and that is the parable of the prodigal son. Sadly, the weekday lectionary skips over it, perhaps because of its great length, and saves it just for its treatment in the Sunday and special lectionary. But we hear the first two of those images today, that of the shepherd who leaves the 99 to seek out the one sheep that is lost, and the woman who loses one of her coins and searches tirelessly and then invites the neighbors to rejoice when she finds it. I've often commented when these passages come up that they, to me, strike me as ridiculous in a good way. Because Jesus says it on the page, it just comes across as something of great wisdom. If I were hearing these, I would kind of perhaps sheepishly, pun intended, be inclined to raise my eyes when Jesus says, what shepherd wouldn't go out? And I'd be like, I wouldn't. After all, if you leave the 99 in the wilderness to go search out the one, someone's probably going to steal or harm the other 99. That doesn't seem like a very prudent shepherd. And if I lose a coin and dig around and find it under the bed and I call my friends over to the house to celebrate with me, they're probably going to be annoyed with me. But setting all that aside, the point here is that God does rejoice in this way. So often I hear people that I think believe that they are insignificant in the sight of God, or that they're just kind of a face amongst human beings, a cog in the machine. And this is correct in one sense on the insignificance, and that we are so much lesser than God. God is so much greater than we are, but we're not insignificant relationally. And that is that God has created us in His image and likeness, and God has created us out of love. He loves each one of us particularly and calls us by name. And so regardless of how we might act in the world when, having to balance, for example, the 99 and seeking out the one that is lost, to God, seeking out the one that is lost, and that is you and I. That is the sinner that strays. There is nothing more important than seeking you or me out. That is what God does. That is how much we are worth to Him. And so for all the times that we might become downcast or think that we don't matter, or that praying doesn't matter, that God is so far off on high and beyond, and what's the point? We need to know that God is always intimately close, even when we don't sense it, and His care for us is beyond our comprehension, and that God never ceases to pour out every help possible to draw us to Him, because the Father desires we be gathered safely into His fold. May God bless you all.